don't know how long this is going to take me, but I don't know whether to do photorealistic or impressionistic. Really don't know, we'll see how it goes. But I thought, well, let's have a go with it. Hello and welcome back to the Clive 5 Art and Jason Bowen challenge. Yes, oh, I could put it there, couldn't I? Might be a bit more space. And yes, so thank you, Jason. This is quite a challenge, in fact. I don't know how long this is going to take me, but I don't know whether to do photorealistic or impressionistic. Really don't know, we'll see how it goes. But I thought, well, let's have a go with it. Now, if you've seen the two videos made prior to this, one is to show you how to put the grid and get the picture on there, and number two, how to mix your colours, because I've got some pre-mixed flesh tone colours there, as you can see. I've got a bit of phthalo green, cadmium red, cerulean blue. I've got a bit of, I forget what that is. It's got some burnt umber, titanium white, and some Mars black. I've got some my liquid clear, my medium mix, and that's buff titanium. So that's the colours I'm going to be looking at to use in this tutorial. And this is not, I'm not a portrait painter per se, but we're going to have a try. This is a good challenge, like the other one that we did the other week, was the windmill one. So please check that out. I put a link in the iCards to my windmill painting, which the one that we got challenged on last time, so have a look at that. And also Jason's photos are in there as well. Now, as I'm talking, I'm actually thinking about what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to start, and I'm looking at a reference photo. I've got a reference photo, but I have a little sneaky peek. Yeah, it's Mr. Bean. There you go. And he's on my iPad. And I thought fun character. Yes, so Mr. Bean. I really enjoy his shows, and I've been a fan of Blackadder and all the other stuff that he's done. And brilliant actor and comedian, in fact. So I thought, let's have a little go of this, because Jason's got to put the face on, so I don't know what he's going to come up with. I haven't left him a lot of space, but I mean, there you go. I had to think of proportions. Right, I'm looking at Mr. Bean's head. I've got my iPad, I've got my monitors by there. If you see me looking down, I'm going to be checking my monitors like I do in most lessons. And I got actually cameras that are linked up to my two monitors, and I can see what you can see, because it's a bit difficult looking around, looking at the little screens on my cameras, which is awkward. So I'm getting used to using these monitors and things now. So I don't know whether to start with the lightest colour or the darkest colour, but let's go mid-tone colour. If you're not too sure, always go mid-tone. There we are. And these are pre-mixed colours, as I said. I've got a little bit of medium mix for there, and I don't quite know how this is going to work, but we're looking at it. So let's get some mid-tone colour. Maybe we want to go a little bit darker than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of burnt umber to that, just to darken that colour up a touch. That's why I put all these colours out there, because I can play around with my tones, which is good, which is a good idea. It really is. And this is just going to be the first layer of many, I think. There we go. Let's get a little bit of a little lighter colour. I'm just going to blend these together. There you go, like that. A bit of colour, a bit darker colour. Oh no, look at these. He's got definite wrinkles going on there. So we need to establish them before I lose them. There's a little bit of watercolour pencil left on the palette there. And the rain is coming in again today. I can hear it picking and pitter-patter on top of my studio roof. Let's get some colour under his eyes. So there, like that. And he's got some dark eyebrows. So let's just get a bit of darker colour. Let's mix just a touch of black to that. I want to get his eyebrow in there, and he's got another eyebrow that's coming up there, like that. That's on a bit of a tilt. There we are. We'll just blend that together. And a bit of this lighter colour. Let's go with this colour. play round. You will have several different tones of flesh colour, and you can match them up to your painting. I tend to mix them all together. I might have a little bit of this one, I might have a little bit of burnt umber to it just to warm it up a touch. And also use a little bit of yellow ochre, which I can put on the palette, but at the moment I'm just establishing some blocks of colour, some values, just to get some shape in. Got a bit of colour, a bit of shadow coming down around his noz. Oops, there we go. Let's have a look. Oops, done it again. Right, let's have a look at this one. You know, keep to the same image, Clive. It's important. It's better. So we've got a bit of colour coming in there. A bit of lighter tone coming in here. This is just the first layer. So what I'm trying to do is just establish just a little bit of colour. Just a little bit of colour around. It's quite dark under there and there. So let's get a little bit of burnt umber in there. Like that. And there's just a little shadow line under there like that. I'll have to adjust his nose shortly, I think, but just for now I'll do. Okay, Jason, this is going to work out quite a difficult challenge for myself. We'll see how it goes. As I've said, I'm not a portrait painter, I'm a pet portrait. I can paint pets. I'm very good at human beings. We'll try. And the only way you can get better at something is to practice. And there's a bit of watercolour pencil there that you can see me dragging up. So don't worry too much about that. We can disperse that. There we go. I'm going to put a little bit of white into this lighter colour there. And just play with colours. That's what I would suggest you do. Just play with some colours until you get the tones that you're looking for. The skin is so different on so many different levels, really. I'm just changing my colour. I want a little bit more flesh colour in there. So I'm just going to bring a little bit of buff titanium to that, a little bit of burnt umber to it. I want to lighten that up again, a bit more buff titanium. And a little touch of red, just to pink it up a touch. And I want to bring that in, like that. Okay, so we need to, it's quite dark then, it's quite light here. So it's a nice colour for around you. It's going to be a bit lighter down there. Down to his ear. And around that way like that. And he's got a little bit more colour coming in under that eye. And around there like that. Blending it in. Get a little bit of that colour across the top of the brow there like that. Multitude of colour there, got a little bit more of a reddy look there, so I'm going to just mix a bit of this colour up and get a bit of buff titanium. Buff titanium is okay. I wouldn't wouldn't recommend you use it all the time. Once you start getting used to mixing your own colours, then a bit warmer there. You start getting used to mixing your own colours, then you can find a way around it. Sometimes a bit of yellow ochre. I've got some yellow ochre here somewhere. Bit of yellow ochre and a bit of white could take it down to that colour, but we don't know until we try. That's burnt sienna, Clive. We want some yellow ochre. There we go. Nice bit of yellow ochre there, just to bring a little bit of. I just want to pink that side up a touch there, and down. Bringing this lighter colour back in, mix it up. If you look at your skin, it's a patchwork quilt of all different tones of colour. I always start with a base colour. These are all base colours. I don't have to stick to those. You can see I can adjust the colour. If I was to put a little bit of yellow going down, I could warm it up with a touch of yellow. Get that flesh tone a little bit yellower, and I could bring that down and use that as a block out colour like that. Let's work on this eyebrow there. We've got a bit of a lighter area coming in there now like that. Blending that in. That's going to be quite light there. Soften it all together. Don't forget we've got to find these ridges. There's some nice shadows in there. And all I'm using at the moment is a 1/2 inch short flat. That's all I'm using, just to put this colour in. We don't want to lose these ridges, do we? I'm just zooming him out because he's a little bit lighter up there. There's a little bit of light catching up here, so we need to lighten that colour up a touch just to get a little bit of light in there. And as I said, blend it all together. All we're establishing at the moment is a bit of shape. He's got a bit of a mole there, so we're just using the very side of the brush. I'm just going to put that mould in place like that, and leave that one there. And we've got a bit of shadow in that one here. Let's build another darker flesh tone here now. So I'm picking up a base tone and I'm adding a bit of burnt umber. I want to warm that up a bit. I'm just going to get a very small amount of red just on the tip of my brush to warm that up. A bit of yellow ochre. Knock that back with a touch of green. Filberts is very strong, so be very careful. And a bit more of this buff titanium, I think. It's quite a nice colour. It's like a grey on a green side. It is, but it's a nice colour. That's what we're looking for. Let's put a bit in there, a bit there like that, and let's bring a bit in there and up there like that a bit. And he's got a darker spot, so we can darken that edge up. Bring a bit of burnt umber over that. I don't use black. You've got a darker spot there. Now what I'm going to do is just going to wash that brush out. In fact, I'm going to get another brush, and then use another brush, and then get another short flat. Because we don't want to keep washing brushes. As you said, you can find them. Bear with me. Looking at his hair, it's like a very light brown. So I'm going to use some burnt umber over there like that. I'm going to mix a little bit of buff titanium with that then, just to lighten it up. rather than use white, because I'll get that caramel type of brown look. And mix in a bit of that. There we are. Now let's get a bit more burnt umber to it. A bit of black. That's going to be my highlight colour. This is going to be my base colour now. I'm going to mix a bit more black to one side. There we are. So I've got 3 distinct values. I'm going to do a little bit of my liquid clear. I'm going to put his hair in. Like that. Just block it in like that for now. And that's just going to help us see the face a little bit more better. A little bit more better. That's a Welsh word. A little bit more better, isn't it? Yes. And on the valleys. If you want to speak Welsh, you've got to go up on the end. Like that, see? On the valleys, I am. There we are. Yes, a little bit more black. Let's just darken this hair up a touch. There we go. When we're looking for time, we're doing about 15-16 minutes, I think. Not doing too bad for the first coat. I'm going to give myself about an hour and a half, 2 hours, so parts of this I might have to speed up. But I hope not. This is not going to be photorealistic, Jason. This is going to be more impressionistic. But we're going to get him. We're going to get him. We certainly are. I want to go just a little bit of light, because he's got a bit of a part in there. I don't want to lose that part in, so I'm just going to bring a little bit of lightness to that, just so I know it's there. That's for my sake. There you go. It's going to come back down and darker then into this point here. Quite black down here actually. That's going to come round and down like that. Right, he's looking a bit Mr. Beanie, I think. Does he look like Mr. Bean? I hope he does. I hope he does. Picking up a short, it's not a short flat, it's a Filbert. It's a number 6 Filbert brush. That's one of them, one of the round, looks like a spoon. And I'm going to do his ears now. I want to bring in a bit of lighter colour there, like that. Let's bring in a bit of lighter colour. The smallest amount of touch to it of red. I'm just going to desaturate that a touch with a little bit of green. There we go. A bit of yellow ochre to it. Maybe a bit more of titanium. Don't buy flesh tint. Whatever you do, don't buy flesh tint. It's not the colour of flesh. People tell you it's the colour of flesh. It's not. Try and mix your own. Have an experiment. Buy yourself a book, as I said, and I'll put a little picture up here somewhere. It's one of these books I recommend you're going to invest in and experiment with, and you'll be surprised what you can learn by just having odd 10-15 minutes just playing with paint and colours. You'll be surprised what you can learn. Never be afraid to try experiment. That's what we say. Never be afraid to experiment. Okay, so again I'm going to this ear now. I'm just going to move his ear over a bit so you can see what we're doing here. Here? Here. There we go. You've got these lovely sticky out ears, Mr. Bean. 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 Yes, that's what he does, doesn't he? Bean. Okay, so just put a little bit of light in there like that, and that's going to come in. We've got this bit of this pinky colour. You notice I'm mixing all these colours on the same brush. I'm not worried too much about whether I'm contaminating each part, because all this is going to blend together quite smoothly, and that's the key with flesh tones, is you've got to get that blend of colour together, otherwise it's not going to look right. In my experience with pet portraits then, it's the same type of thing. You've got to get the fur, you've got to get everything to work well, and you've got to concentrate on all your mid-tones and shadows, and you need these things, these elements to work together. You really do. I'm just going to put a bit of colour in there. I can blend her out just a bit more later on. I'm looking at some detail now, and he's got a... Let's see if I can get this with this brush. If not, I'm going to have to switch over to another brush. I've got a bit too much paint on my brush, so I'll pull a bit off. I'm a bit of a messy painter, yes. But I believe in using all the colours. If you're going to learn to use these colours without them turning to mud, which is easier said than done in a lot of cases, and I'll be the first one to admit that. But it's not always easy to get what you're looking for, as they say. But the other thing I was going to say to you too is it's always better to work on a slightly bigger canvas, because you've got less detail to worry about. There we go. Got a bit of a thing going on there as well. Blending that in. And we need a bit of pinky over here. A bit of lighty there. A bit more lighty there. Now, I don't like using pure white yet. It's important you don't use pure white quite yet. But what I'm going to do now is drop that brush down. I'm going to pick up a detailing brush. So I've got a couple of detailing brushes. I've got a number 1 which I'm going to go into. I'm going to go into my medium mix for this. I'm picking up a bit of black. You can use a mark stick, which is a cork on the end of a stick, which is one of them. I made them. Or you can get yourself, like I recently acquired from my mother's loft. It's my father's walking stick, which I put on top there like that. And what that allows me to do is work like a mark stick. And then I'm just going to put the pupil in place very quickly. I'm also on time now. Our time is now 23 minutes. So I'm not doing too bad. Another little tip I want to show you, if you're into portraiture, or you want to practice, or you want to get into portraiture, is what I've done over the years is I've worked out to buy one of these things, and this is a micrometer. It's an engineer's micrometer. There we go. It does. You can work out the diameter of an inner circle or the thickness of an object. And what I tend to do is, especially if I'm doing a photorealistic painting, I'll measure the eye pupil there, which is there, and I'll transfer that over to there, so you can see it's just a little bit smaller. So I just need to adjust the pupil by a couple of microns. There you go, and that is that. And this eye, if I've drawn it correctly, should be a nice width apart, which it is near enough. It'll do. Just need to increase his nose a little bit in that case. I do tend to forget to use that sometimes. So we've got a bit of a black line just going around, and then he's got a little bit of a black line going around there. Like that. Okay, and the inner part of his eye, we'll get a little bit of burnt umber, a little bit of white. We'll just do his colour, his eye colour like that. in a medium mix, just let it flow. We'll just do his eye for now. Trying to preserve the purple. You don't want to destroy the size of that purple, because you can quite easily overpaint it, and then you're going to be adjusting eyes because they don't look right. Like that. I want just to lighten that eyeball a touch. We can go in there and play with that later on. All I'm doing at the moment is just getting a little bit of colour. A little bit of colour. A little bit of colour. And I'm coming up to the 30-minute mark, and I want to go and rest my eyes now and then come back and look at the painting. And I'm going to let it dry naturally. That way you have a fresh eye, because if you keep painting and keep painting and keep painting, you'll be surprised how many mistakes you can make by doing that. There you go, I'll do for now. Eyeball looks a bit big actually. Why does that eyeball look a bit big? I don't know. So we need to adjust that, don't we? A bit of titanium to that. We need to close that eye up a bit. Yeah, see, we're already 30 minutes into the painting. We've made a slight error there, but we will correct that eye in a second. It's not a problem. We can live around that one. We'll do this one as well. Best thing to do now, I think, for the moment, is I'm going to put a background on this, and then I'm going to let it sit and cure a touch, I think. And I'm not too sure what type of background to put on there, but I think I'll start with, let me think. I'm not sure whether to go black or grey. I think I might make a grey, I think. Let's see if I can make a grey. And then we'll work on that afterwards. So I'm just going to go around my image. Taking that down there for Jason, because he's going to know what colour my background is then. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that dry and rest my eyes for 30 minutes and wash my brushes, and I'm going to come back in about 30 minutes to 40 minutes to see exactly how that looks with fresh set of eyes. Very important you do that. Have a break on a regular basis. So I'll see you like that. And I'm back. That was quick. It always is. Jason really likes that, I think. Yeah. He said, Clive, I like it when you do that, so I do it. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly look at this eye. So I'm going to get my detailing brushes. I've got a number 6 and a number 1. Let's get my palette out there, like that. There we go, okay, let's look. So I'm just going to work on a couple of tones of these. I'm just going to put one brush down there. I'm going to get my marker stick for this one, because it's just easier to use. I got a bit of a shadow coming up through the eye there. looking at this. That's going down into a thin line then like that. Not exactly black, but let's use this dark colour I mixed there earlier, because I got a bit of a wrinkle there. There's a little bit of dark under the eye, a little bit there. I'm going back into this white and just using a little bit of that colour that I got on the brush already, just to bring in this white of the eye. A bit of colour in there. What we got there is tear duct. Also got a tear duct there as well. That looks a little bit darker, a little bit big that one, so we need to put a little bit of colour in there. So we're going around that tear duct to get it the way we want it. This darker colour coming down then. There. We've got a bit of a dark spot in there. So I'm switching over to a little filbert brush that we used. I'm just going to put that dark colour in there, picking up a bit of this flesh tone. Merging that together. It's got a bit lighter there. The only hard edges, I want it to look like a shadow. It's quite light there. It's got a light, not light, but let's just put a little bit of white in there for a minute just to separate that up. Like that. Blend in a little bit of this flesh tone. Get a little bit more light coming in there. A little light down there. Sometimes it's nice to be quiet and just relax and do the painting. That's what I like to think. I like to think sometimes. A bit of his eyebrow colour. It's just got a little bit of our hair colour now into this eyebrow. There. And again. And it's quite hard to paint something that's all familiar to us. If you know who Mr. Bean is, and you are Rowan Atkinson, that's easier said than Bean, then, especially with the brush in the mouth, then the features are very they're right in the foreground of our minds. We know who we know what he looks like. So you paint in. Let me put that brush down there. You paint in famous people or somebody that you know. It's quite difficult to paint our portrait is we've got preconceptions of what it looks like in our minds. And sometimes that's what stops us. Just playing around with a little bit of colour. Like that. It's okay, I'll do. We need to mix a bit more of this paint up now, so small amount of red to that yellow ochre. A bit of titanium into that. Make it a little bit pink on the one side. Let's play with these colours. Just develop his ear again. We lost a bit of his ear there. Bring a touch of white on that, just a smidge of white, just to lighten down that one edge there, like that. Bit of burnt umber just to one side, just to darken down this area. What are we looking? We're into 8 minutes on this session, and I'm trying to do this. I'm going to try to do this within an hour and a half if I can. I'll get the best lightness that I can get in that time. Looking at my reference, which I've got on my iPad, so use all the tools you've got to hand. That's very important. Use all them tools you've got to hand. It's quite a dark shadow that he's got on the top of his eyelid there. It's bordering on black actually. We need to put a little bit of colour on this eyelid there. Let's add a little bit of black. Let's just add a little bit of black, just to give it a harsher look. Don't like using black much, but if we blend that in, it's not going to be so hard. There you go. Let's just increase this white in the eyeball. add a little bit of colour to that at a later stage. Like I said, it's not easy to paint in this time scale, but as long as we get a fairly good likeness, that's all I'm interested in at the moment. What makes me nervous more than anything is I've got to give this to Jason. And he's going to be really able to critique what I've done. And hopefully I should be able to say, well, I only did it in a short space of time, so I can get away with it. I'm not a portrait artist anyway, so as far as human is concerned, so this is a learning curve for me as well as you, so it's important that we push ourselves a little bit sometimes, make ourselves uncomfortable, because we inevitably will get better then. What I need to do now is put a little bit more colour under this eye there. Bring a little bit of light into that. There.
Hey, welcome, thanks for stopping by.
There. How are we looking? Looks pretty good so far.
So grab your brush, have a great time.
I'm going to leave that eye. I'm going to leave that eye. I'm going to work on this eye now.
Don't forget to click
I'm going to leave that eye. I'm going to work on this eye.
Visit clyde5art.co.uk.
Again, he's got quite a deep an eye. Okay, let's have a look at this eye. Bit of a colour in there. A shadow there coming down. The pupil is a bit skewy, but I'm going to come to that in a second now. Bring in a bit of right to the eyeball. Looks like it's connected on sand. No, it's there. So there's a bit lighter there. That's coming down. Adding a little bit of burnt embers in my brush so I can get the blend. And again we've got, this is coming in dark there. Not going to be perfect, I don't think, Jason. But we're going to get as close as I can get with this. Jason's going to knock my socks off on this challenge, I'm sure, because he is a good portrait artist. When he first mentioned this challenge, I really didn't want to do it, but I thought, well, we've got to push ourselves, as I've said. That's the thing. That's the thing that we don't do. We don't do enough of pushing ourselves. And just adding little bits of colour, working on areas, and then going back to them later on as they dry. Knowing how the acrylics dry is the key thing, really. I'm using the paint a little bit thinner, trying to get a bit of burnt umber, trying to get these shadow marks to blend in, make it look at this, there's a bit of a ridge there. coming down quite badly. How am I doing on time? I'm coming up to 20 minutes in this session, which I think that would be about an hour so far. And I need to get some detail into this quite sharply, I think. And the eyes are still a bit wonky wonky. Need to mix in a bit more paint. A little bit of white, a little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of red. A little bit of that, of titanium. A little bit of my liquid clear just to get this paint to run. I'll just move in the image. So a touch of white to it. Just want to lighten that up. Just on the one side, I think. Sparkle that up a touch. Maybe too much. Too much.
Nice.
A little bit too much there.
Back here.
We'll go with it for the
Nice.
moment.
Nice.
And again.
Just
Nice.
And again.
Nice.
tell you another tip I can give you. Get a little cotton bud, just dump in a bit of water, and you can blend it in like that if you wanted to. Just got a bit of a light spot there. Make some, put some burnt umber on my palette in a second. Come back, I'm just going to stop and do that. Bit of burnt umber. A little bit of burnt umber on the tip of my Q-tip, just a little bit of a blemish. Using the Q-tip is a nice way to get some blend in there. It's really about working out in tones. There's no actual shapes on the face. If you think about it, it's just you get some creases, but a lot of it is shadow and how light works on the skin. It's not easy to explain, not for me anyway, but I just tend to play with colour I think if you can do that, I don't want this to be photorealistic if I can help it, but I'm going to get a certain time to do this challenge. I want to try and get it as accurate as I can. Jason to have a chance of doing something with this. Still see a couple of my pencil lines through, which I'm trying to paint away now. Painting away the stress of everyday life here in Wales, and pencil marks as well. Well, I'm quite happy with this so far, considering I don't paint portraits, and the process I'm doing, I'm learning from. I just add a little bit more white. Just bringing in some highlights now. Again, getting my little Q-tip. I think what I'm going to have to do is concentrate on some details like his forehead. The dog is barking a lot. My wife's using the Hoover. Okay, you just sit back, as Jason was saying, have a little look at that. I'm just going to leave that and chuck that Q-tip in the bin. I'm going to look at these eyes again. I've got to get these eyes right, because these eyes are just slightly out, I think. These eyes are slightly out. So I need to work on that. So let's go back into some light paint. one's a bit bright over there at the moment. Let's just get this pupil in. Always worth spending just a little bit of time on the eyes. So let's put a bit of burnt umber there, a bit of white to it, a bit of red, a bit more burnt umber, a bit of yellow ochre. Gonna try and mix up a, looks like a rose sienna type of colour. Smallest amount of white just to pick up a little bit of light into the eye. I'm starting to rush a bit now because I'm slowly running out of time here. I want to try and get this as accurate as I can, if I can. A bit of white on my brush now, which I'll just run through. So we're bringing in a little bit more white. And cool that white off with a little bit of blue in a bit. But for the moment, I'll just get in some brighter white marks in there. Don't overdo this. This is the same approach I would have if I was painting my dog's eye or something, so I gotta let that dry in a second anyway. It's just there. Now I gotta try and replicate that on this eye now. So easy to overpaint and make things slightly bigger than what they should be. So I'm just going to check with these in a second. Now if I made them a bit big, then I can always cut them down with a little bit of white. This light side here is this, his right and my left is just slightly darker there, so Just bringing a little bit of black into this eye now. Let's get the pupil in place. Okay. Again, I'm going to go grey, so because he's dirtying this white off. Not talking much in this one, Clive. I tend to concentrate and I don't talk when I concentrate. Pick out a short flat now, and I'm just going to go back. I'm just going to get rid of some of these marks, a little bit of red, just to pink some of that up. A bit of burnt umber, we've got a bit of shadow in there. Let's put that down. Bit of light. A little bit of light. Just get a little bit of light on the top of his ear there. Let's look at his hair again. Should have got some of that lighter colour hair now, won't we? Just to... It's quite dark. Let's just darken his hair up. Pick up some white. Didn't want to do that. Look good in his hair. Try and get the hair to... It's not the first time I've actually done Rowan. I did a pencil sketch of him once before. Oh, many moons ago. What are we doing now? We're coming up to 43 minutes on this session alone. Okay, so he speeded it up a little bit. All I'm doing now is just adding a little bit of blue to some white, and just to offset that bright white colour, I'm just going to go in, do some work on the eyes now, just to bring in a little bit of life to the actual eyeball itself. Coming up to 55 minutes on this session. So it might be a little bit quicker for you because I sped it up a bit, but I don't want to this to run into too long a video because I want to show you as much as I can, but you need to learn as well. You need to do this in order to learn how to do it, if that makes sense. Okay, and add a little bit more red to that colour. This is the colour I mix for the eye. A little bit of moisture to it. I'm just going to put a little bit of warmth to that eye. And get a bit of burnt umber now. Just darkening down the eye a touch. Washing my brush, going back into that little bit of that blue-white mix, just increasing a little bit of white around this eye. I hope Jason is going to like what I painted, because like I said, I'm not a portrait artist, but I must say this has worked out a lot nicer than I thought. A little bit of black. I'm going to darken up this purple. And now I'm going to put some highlights in. I'm using the blue white again. Just put in a little bit of light catching in the eye like that. I mean, that should look a little bit better. I really need to address the hair now. I'm going to lighten up this colour with a little bit of titanium. And I'm sitting back and I'm just going to bring in some highlights like this. Bring some black in. I'm not sure what colour his hair is, but I'm not too worried. As long as I get it to look like hair, it doesn't matter. So his hair is quite flat. A bit of brown in, I think. Looks a bit grey by there. Looks like he's got a little bit of grey coming through there. So we can certainly bring a little bit of that around like this. And that's coming up. Away. Bit of black, bit of burnt umber. Just get this a bit of lighter colour, just catching through there. I need to stand up. Okay. strip lining brush, that's one of those, that's the long pointy ones. I'm just going to lighten down this colour using a bit of my liquid clear just to thin it down so I could keep its properties, just to bring in some lines like this, maybe a little bit of light colour, a bit of white, just to flick through. Some
Nice. Let's take it back in.
Nice.
Nice.
thin it down,
Okay.
grab it like ink.
Nice.
It's not going to work if you don't have it as thin as you can. I'd use medium or liquid clear or something like that. Use some sort of medium. Don't just use water because this could flake in time. Some eyebrows in. I don't know if he's got eyelashes. I don't know if he can. I can see them, but I mean, put a few in. Doesn't look right. I don't quite like that there. Would you be getting there, Jason? I certainly getting there. I need to put a bit more. A little bit darker. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up in a second because I need to. And this can be continued for a long time yet to come to get it real as you want it, really, and as photorealistic as you want it. But for the sake of this challenge, I think I'm going to call it a day, because this is just a fun challenge at the end of the day, and Jason's going to put somebody else's mouth and that down there, so I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I hope I've showed that with a little bit of perseverance and a little bit of guile, I think is the word, because as I said, this is not something I would normally paint, but you can continue bringing in details here, there and everywhere. just going to finish this off, and I want to thank you so much for joining me in the studio today and painting away the stress of Mr. Bean with me. And please like, comment, share, subscribe on to my videos, and please pop along and obviously see Jason's video. That's important, and I do enjoy doing these challenges immensely with him. So I'm going to continue just tidying this up. I'm not going to do too much more to it, and I'm just going to let this dry off then and send it over to Jason. But I think, as far as the Mr. Bean is concerned, I think we haven't done too bad. I think we haven't done too bad. I think that's not bad for about an hour and a half, maybe. I don't know. I think it's about an hour and a half of work. Portraits can take a lot longer and a lot more in depth than an hour and a half, for sure. So, from Mr. Bean and myself, and I'm going to hand this over to Jason. I hope you have good fun with this, Jason. I'd like to see how this actually works out, because I think it's going to be a good one, and I'm looking forward now to doing the bottom of yours. So thank you very much for joining me in the studio. My name is Clive from cliveart.co.uk. Have a good day, good week, a good month of video. Thank you very much for painting away the stress of everyday life. Don't forget to click the subscribe button over there, and or down there, or go into the iCards and look at the videos. From now until then,